Hello everyone. It is, again, a great pleasure to always come and have a conversation with my friends, because I consider you all my friends, and a team, which is needed at this level. I think I told you in past videos that I've had out-of-body experiences which I saw just innumerable beings beside me all coming down toward this level. And I'm telling you, you all are so important to what we need to do here to awaken those that are ready. So creation's always going to go on. But I think there's always a need to, sometimes it gets out of balance and you crumple something up and throw it away. And that's when you see the worlds going through their cycles and then destroyed and then rebuilt. And that's an ongoing cycle, not only in our physical bodies, but everything in the physical world goes through that, including planets and universes. And we all know that. It's a constant process of flux, of movement, of activity, right? So the driver of all this, however, is the mind. Now, I'll say, I won't say it's so much the driver as it is perhaps the policeman on the cross section that directs traffic. Or the mind is like the fishing pole. The consciousness, the awareness that what one perceives the mind to have isn't the mind. The awareness that one perceives the physical body to have isn't the physical body. You are the awareness of all your bodies. And that awareness is so huge and so beautiful in each and every one of you. The only thing that takes that light down, and we've talked about this a great deal, of course, is thought. And thought is the process of creating. But thought has to have duality to exist, because thought is involved in two separate sides, comparing, analyzing, creating relationships. And it's endless what the mind can do, obviously. And the emotional component that's below the mind, the emotional body, that's an amazing body in and of itself. That's the next world that you visit out of this one. Jesus referred to them as heavens. And so it's so worth getting your health back. It's so worth focusing on yourself and God awakening, where you're awakening. And it doesn't matter what level you're at. Everybody's at a different level spiritually. And you awaken as much as you want. But for those on this site, we have the opportunity to grow as much as you want. It's unlimited. But there's balances that have to occur as you go through. I was talking to a dear homeopathist in Romania this morning, and she had went to, where Yaz is, in Thailand. And she could not believe, living on fruit from Thailand, the power of that organic food from local grown trees. She said, immediately my clarity came back, my hair started, and the vibrational frequency of that food, she said, my God, it was like night and day. And that's the point. She said that when she read my book and said that I had been on the orange fast, she said, I don't know how he could have fasted on oranges, until she had an orange from Thailand. And she almost went into nirvana. She said, my God, now I see that you could sustain quite readily. And now she can't handle vegetables real well, make her feel good. And a lot of you are experiencing that. And this is all just vibrational frequencies. And for those that are spiritual minded, that's all this is anyway. There's no real consumption of nutrition and all that. That is the appearance. That is duality. That is chemistry. But in reality, you're just consuming God at all different levels of frequencies. And you're a part of that. So it's simply God experiencing itself in every way you can look at it. because there's only the all, the one. So relax more, play more, enjoy more, and become detached of the outcome of what's going on and what you see out there. Let karma roll its way down the road and you not be pulled along with it. You pull back from your creative force and you'll be the creative force. Hard to explain. The more you get into life and you're seeking the ultimate God-conscious state, you start to realize there's no seeking involved, that it's all right here, right now, for you to tap and be any moment that you want it to be. There's no time to awakening per se, although you see it in cycles and everything like that, but you can have the God-conscious state anytime you want it. It's just how much can you get beyond your mind? How much can you get beyond your desires of those things that are external to you? And you go into that which is internal. So anyway, I do want to do a spiritual video and talk a lot more about these things. I wrote so many things down I wanted to talk to you about, but sometimes I get a loss for words because it's like health. It's so simple. And when something becomes too complex, walk away. Because you'll find that when you enter into it, you wish you never had. So let life move itself along while you're riding the wave. I was meditating over the weekend and there was a cool wind. And it reminded me of a beautiful, beautiful pine grove, an Australian pine grove I used to play in. And this was way back in the woods, and I used to force myself to walk back, because we have a lot of panthers and bobcats and things, and, when you're by yourself and you don't have any guns or anything like that, you never know. So I worked myself back to where I could go back there any time of night, any time, way back in the woods, and I used to just let it all hang out and enjoy the beauty. I would meditate, and if you've never been kissed by the wind as it's strumming the notes of the most beautiful music through the can't even call them leaves of the pine leaves, they're not even leaves. But when you hear that it's a haunting ohm-like, or in Eckankar we used to say hue, it's a haunting word or sound that draws you into itself. That haunting note of God, the single note of flute of God, So it's an incredible experience to allow these things and to be free and ride on the wind. You notice how the wind is free, and be like the wind. Don't take anything with. Just give your love, shine your love on everything, on everyone, and don't judge. I say that, and we got this from Chris and Lysandra, and I heard Lysandra, you talked to him about this. The first thing is, question, why did Robert Morris have to get teeth implants? Why didn't he heal it? And then it goes on more about Marcy and her type 1, and et cetera, et cetera. There's so many narcissistic people out there like that. And some of these people like this haven't had a lot of experiences in life, because as we go along and as you go along, the wisdom that you gain from your mistakes is vital. That's why there's duality here. And so we all have fighting for our health, no matter what. If you have someone that says they've been 20, 30 years 100% raw, nothing cooked, they're as rare as the sun being purple. So you want to be cautious about that purity syndrome, because this isn't a game where I'm better than you or you're better than me here. This is an adventure. It's supposed to be of fun as much, but there's so much. But the reason this first level here is such a beat-up level is where you're going in the future. and what you can accomplish. When you're creating your own worlds, you must be strong and disciplined in your consciousness, already there without you even knowing it. If not, your creation will get out of whack real quick. So these negative, what seems to be negative experiences, is maturing you and developing a sense of strength within you, because you have two choices. You either get stronger or you get weaker. And if you get weaker, you're going to be consumed. You're mostly going to be consumed by someone stronger than you. You're going to be used by someone that's stronger than you. You're going to be always, your joy is going to be robbed by someone stronger than you. It just keeps on going. So strengthen up and strengthen yourself up. Bring joy within yourself by loving yourself and saying, you know, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't care what I look like. I'm okay. Because there's no such thing as perfection. And if we see that in we expect that out of someone, that's a narcissistic view. You're already perfect. Each and every one, even Chris, you're already perfect, my friend. But if you expect to find perfection in creation where you have duality, you have to get broader back and see how perfect duality works with positive and negative. It still gets its glitches and it still has to be destroyed and rebuilt. That's how out of balance even God can get. And who's God? We are. It isn't God that gets out of balance, it's we that get out of balance. And of course, anything you feel, we all feel. You know, when you come in and sit in front of me, I feel everything you're thinking. I feel you totally. And I try not to look at your records or anything else because I don't want to know. You must keep something for yourself. You must keep yourself to yourself. And you ladies, you beautiful ladies are such lovers and givers of life. But your challenge is to keep a little for yourself. Because without you ladies, men would have a hard time understanding love. They would have to look in at their female side, and very few men do that. So you always have to keep yourself and allow spirit or love to flow through you, not pointed at anyone. Because remember, when you point your focus, whether it's love or hate or whatever, it comes roaring back at you. So it's good to give love, no question. But it also depends who you're sending it to how they take it. And sometimes when we send love to people that don't want it, we get bad karma from it. You have to be careful about what you put out on others. Because others are on their own journey. Yeah, they're a piece of God too. They're being well taken care of. You don't have to worry about them. You have to pray for them. God, everybody's loved because everybody's a piece of the same. It's we all in our individualized selves that need to love each other. That's what we need to do. And sitting there making statements like that, it just shows immaturity on Chris's part. No offense, Chris, but you're just immature statements. It is through my mistakes and the path I went that I can help you guys. And the same thing with you guys. No one's perfect out there. And I'd recommend cheating if you have to. There's a lot of things because we're healers. I am not a lifetime raw foodist. Love to be. I'd love to be a lifetime fruitarian. Not here in Florida, not here in the States. Can't do it. Not and be happy and healthy. Besides, that's not even my attention. This is simple, and you guys are running with it and learning and growing and learning the artful moves of detoxification. But what's more important than that? Your survival beyond this world. There is no survival of this world. It's not meant to be. You live, you enjoy, you play, and then you translate. You move from this arena of activity. You change your attention. Oh, look, here's a new world I'm going to go to and have fun. And then this world is dead to you because you shifted your attention. You shifted your view from soul to something else. As soul, it still can see all this, but you, as the individualized mind, can't. The universal mind can. So, judging is not a good thing. That would be like going to a chiropractor and said, you crack your own back and fix your own self up. No, I don't want to talk to you. Are you a massage therapist? Do you do your own self? No? Okay, I'm going to. I mean, stuff like that. It's stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. This is a tough world, and we all struggle to make it on all levels. I have to laugh because, you know, what brought me off a fruitarian was health. Yep, health. Took me away from fruitarianism. How? Opened up health food stores. Wanted to come help people. I found the answers. I didn't know about herbs then, but I found the answers. Right? Fruitarian thinking. Much better than vegetarian. Tried vegetarian at first, and then I moved myself on up into fruitarian and reading fruitarian thinkers like Carrington and Erythromelalgia and stuff. I knew I knew. And then as I looked at the different bodies and as I studied chemistry and I looked at all this, I knew this is a diet of man, but man can't get there in probably this lifetime or next. It's going to take the babies and the regeneration and keep moving down that line to instill that. And if someone like Chris thinks everybody can just be a raw foodist, and if they're not, and they're not totally healthy, and they're not way out there, Superman, then he's not going to go to them. Well, Chris, if you have that kind of attitude, you're probably not ready for this level. You know, these are kind of attitudes that you don't need because it's going to trap you into karma. Not me. I don't care what you say. Doesn't matter. You can't hurt me. I've already found my sukkah. And that's the point, is that God is so much better than this experience. Although have fun while you're here and enjoy it. But learn how the body travels. Look deep within yourselves and enjoy that ride. It's the best ride you'll ever be on. Except for fruitarianism and detoxification, and that's a hell of a ride. Anyway, I think I'll go ahead and answer some Q&A here because I got so much to catch up with. I wanted to read this one because I can't even pronounce this condition. So we looked it up, and I think when you get to the point where these words are this long, see through this kind of bull crap. You know, this is the intellectual mind trying to gain power over others. So this, let me read this to you. For the past couple of years, I've been suffering from two conditions that there seems to be no cure for. And this one condition is, what did we say that was? Mitchell's disease. And I love how they put this into Mitchell's disease, that word disease. You know, God, I mean, it's just such a negative, nasty word that means nothing. You know, it's terrible. But this is the condition. And this is how it gets. Bottom line, obviously, acidosis, inflammation, and the effect that has. It's all strange. You can, especially neurologicals, you can have all types of neurologicals on and off. You know, as things swell in the body, as the lymph swells, makes hard, shuts down nerve flow. You can have all kinds of neuropathy type of problems, inflammatory problems, which is simply acidosis problems. They can wax and wane, all kinds of things like that, man. And Raynaud's, okay? I've researched, you know, because there is no cure out there, my friend, for anything in treatment-based thinking. And we're the only causative-based thinkers out there. I mean, there are some old naturopaths still around, but I don't hear much of them. We're causative thinkers, not effect thinkers. Effect is creation. Go play in the worlds of effect. And you'll be confused, unhappy, but be the cause. You want to start being the cause of your experience, a conscious cause of your experiences. Know that everything you're experiencing in your life, you're creating it. No one else, you're creating it. You've allowed all the situations to be set up for their current experience. It's just factual. It's just the way it is. So this is totally a kidney and adrenal problem relating to the autonomic nervous system and also relating to acidosis. Look at both sides of this. With the weak adrenals, your myelin sheaths are down. So they're sensitive already to suppression and inflammation, acidosis and stuff, because they're already losing their game. And then, of course, you have all the swelling and all the pain. And it can be transient. Doesn't matter. Trying tons of different natural therapies, but nothing has worked because you've never addressed the cause. And that's the thing. There is not one thing out there that's the magic elixir. It doesn't exist. And there isn't two things that's the magic elixir. We're way out of our dietary realm. And until man understands that, he's not going to change his picture much. So we have to first understand that the barrage of nasty food that man's eating just is not man. Like I was telling you about the homeopathic physician from Romania. She's in Romania, hard to eat good right now. But when she went to Thailand, it was like she could not believe the difference. She already knew that the fruit was the best. She'd studied all the books out there for years. She already knew that. But until she wore the robe and broke through this bullcrap idea of fruits are bad for you, I can't even imagine, she's starting to see the power of fruit. And she's going, oh my God. And I said, absolutely. That's the power of God, is the fruits and the berries, baby. Exactly. I've cleaned up my diet, and that hasn't really helped with the conditions because you have to dig in. And that's why I love the herbs because, you know, some people are so involved genetically, you got to get to the herbs, guys. Some of you just got to try to get to the herbs. And you get to your kidneys, you get to your adrenals. You have to do kidney and adrenals together. Yeah, they sit on top of each other. You got to do them together. So you got to go after the kidneys. Get your kidneys filtering. There's a reason why we have these pictures, and thanks to you lovely YouTubers that are making them for everybody, people have access to pretty pictures that shows them about kidney filtration. It is so vital. It's just so vital. And it's just amazing to see the difference when you start filtering and when you're not filtering here. So you have to dig in. When you say your diet's cleaned up, when I had health food stores, I thought my diet was cleaned up. I was fruitarian, but this is healthy. Everybody else is saying this is healthy. So I had a flour mill. I ground fresh flour for people. I had raw milk, ice cream cones, goat's milk. I sold raw milk cheeses. I mean, I had all of that. Good. Not so good. I had nuts. All kinds of nuts. Oh man, raisins and nuts. Oh man, almonds and raisins. Or pignolia nuts and raisins. My God, I can eat them by the bushel basket. Boop, 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 boop. And how fat I went. And I started feeling bad. I said, wait a minute, I'm eating healthy. No, I'm not. Had I not opened up that health food store, had I not went through all that experience as Chris, I wouldn't have been able to help you. You don't go to Jesus for the man or Buddha for the man. You go to their teachings, Chris. You go to their teachings. We're teachers. We're all working the path. I'm working my way back to God, at least trying to get awakened out of creation as fast as I can. But, you know, we're all working at our levels. We're working for ourselves. Nothing's perfect. And don't ever make that mistake, because as soon as you look for that, you just left the realm of humility and jumped into the realm of narcissism and ego. And that'll cause you some karma. No, not worth it. Not worth judging others. It doesn't matter. Let everyone do their thing the way they want to do their thing. If you want to come together as a couple, you will appreciate, I've said this before, you will appreciate each other so much better if you each are individuals. And then your relationship will be nirvanic. It'll be ecstasy to look in the eyes of God in the form of a beautiful woman or a beautiful man, whichever one you're involved in, and enjoy that. But keep yourself. See, remember, soul learns and knows by becoming, absorbing into the experience. Learn that is the key how to get out of here. That's your key. Don't absorb. Don't create where you absorb into the experience. If you create, keep yourself outside of it. Watch your creation. Don't become your creation. Because you'll lose. You'll get lost again. And lost means unconscious. You know, there's an old saying after a while. Is it better to be conscious or unconscious. Sometimes it's better you don't want to know, but in reality, it's always better to be awake, conscious. Oh, we have a little baby out there. Uh-oh, little baby, another one with a problem. Oh, so many babies in serious trouble. You guys are needed so bad to help all these parents to learn the truth and to raise their babies healthy, so we start having healthy bodies for these higher souls. And we can have a better place for a little way station, people to stop, enjoy planet Earth. Now next, go on to your next adventure. Right now it's like, come to hell. Come on to hell. Nope. It's so hard dealing with the temperatures. Absolutely. These conditions primarily affect my hands. Winter offers no relief because of the Raynaud's, and summer isn't any better with the burning red and the swollen hands. I greatly appreciate any wisdom and advice. Who am I speaking to? Knowledge? Knowledge yields power. 7777. Well, you got the 4 sevens. Man, this is just your lymph system and a little bit of your nervous system. So the adrenals control that nervous system that you're having problems with. And of course, controls the kidneys. And once you get your kidneys filtering lymphatically, you have to dig in. So I would definitely be on 2 kidney formulas. Remember, 1 capsule, 1 tincture. I'd be on 2 lymphatic formulas, 1 capsule, 1 tincture. I would be on a stomach and bowel. Those are my protocols, stomach and bowel. After about a couple of weeks or a month, I'd hit that GI broom hard. You might want to do a little upper circulation just to move blood around the head a little bit, because let me tell you, you're not just involved in the hands. You want to keep the old brain and Ruski good. I would take brain and nerve number 2. That'll strengthen the myelin sheaths. Now, increasing your adrenals, I would get the adrenal 400s, the glandulars. And I would go after increasing my adrenal glands and getting more neurotransmitter production, at the same time removing acids out of your body, and you'll see all this inflammation back away. And you'll be able to rebuild the nervous system. All neuropathies can be rebuilt, always. So don't think you're done. You rebuild your body, but you have to get up there. You have to get up there on the raw, number 1. One day it won't be raw versus cooked, because man will finally be over his cookedness. But, we were talking about that too, me and this female homeopathist. I really like her. I appreciate people that research and that are awake and aware and jumping in and helping people like that. But I forgot where I was going to go with that one. But it's enough to say is that you really have to get in and start moving your lymph and get your kidneys filtering and get all these acids out of your system and strengthen up those myelin sheaths. That is really, really important, and you'll be able to overcome this quite readily. And so you just got to get to that and dig into that. And digging in means more fruits and berries and melons than vegetables. So you want to start off doing, and you probably are living in some cold place, obviously. So you want and of course the heat's going to suck the nerve energy out of you and cause, the flip. So yeah, any of that's not good. But that's why the importance of the fruits and the berries. They're neurological foods, and they'll strengthen the nerve endings and the nerve sheaths. They will strengthen the whole nervous system, the brain, the autonomic system. The whole 9 yards. So I highly recommend that knowledge is power. I'll say this, awareness is power. Knowledge can disempower you, because the more knowledge you get, sometimes the more unaware and the more stupid you can get. Awareness is freedom. Awareness is power. That is what is behind every eye you look into. It's God. Awareness. Intelligence. It might be sifted down, way down into little bodies, but it's still back there. And the same with you. You got to get back there and find that. And when you do, live there. Or here. Right where we are. In the now. So you'll be able to take care of yourself, my friend, and do well with that. But that's the only remedy I know. You've been all over looking because you're trying to treat this condition. And when you try to treat, we are way beyond the ability of any treatment-based thinking to give us remedy. We can have some, maybe a remedy from pain or a remedy from some things, but not a cure-type remedy. Only when you go back in the body and you start fixing everything that's causing the problem. And how simple is that when you realize that you have a gigantic sewer system in your body that deals with the acid side of chemistry, the corrosive side of chemistry, and this system uses the kidneys and the skin to filter these acids out of the body, and it uses the lymph nodes and bacterium to break these acids down so these tissues won't suffer too hard when you're eliminating them. Remember, 3 at the cell, around 6 at the kidneys. Better, you know, if you were at a P3 pH, you would be peeing on your knees. Now, this is Beatrice Sanchez, Betty. Hi, Betty. This is quite involved here, Betty. Let me see if I can highlight this. Hi, Dr. Morris. I want to let you know that I found you after praying to God for guidance on a healthy lifestyle. You're talking to the man, or the lady, or the it. With all of the contradictory opinions from natural health practitioners, no kidding. Well, you know what? There's a time where you have to sit down and put it all together for yourself. And I ran into the same problems too. Because remember, I was an extreme reader of literature. From Nietzsche to Ouspensky to Watts to natural hygiene, you name it. Not only was I into philosophy, religion, Bhagavad Gita, the Bible. I memorized the whole Bible at one time. I mean, I've been into all these things. So I've had a lot of education and knowledge, except in spelling and English. Ugh. I'm an old farm boy. We never take English or spelling as farm boys. Nor did we take typing or French. And I wish I had of. I was a science guy. I loved science. I aced every science class I ever took. Natural health practitioners and conventional medicine out there, I was becoming somewhat confused and are glad I found you. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. You know what? That's I hope that if I can claim anything is that I helped to put it all together for us, but then all of us are helping to put it together even more. So that's exciting. And what's exciting is you guys to me. You guys are so exciting to me, it's not even funny because of all the people you're helping. I get goosebumps when I hear these stories of you guys out helping others and they're getting well. People come in here and they've been working with one of you guys and they say, I'm doing so. That's exciting. That is exciting because that leads to the individual's freedom and happiness and joy. And what better lifestyle would you want than to help others feel good too? Because you've got to feel good yourself. And once you feel good yourself, you can help others feel good. But it is a feel-good situation to help others feel good. You know, working with humility is a great way to live. Working with ego is a lost way to live. And a bumpy road, to say the least. I will start out briefly sharing my health history and diet for the last few years, okay? I'm going to kind of skip a little bit because these long ones I can't get to anyone else, so I'm going to kind of skip. At the age of 22, my gallbladder was removed. My doctor's proposal, and I was obviously agreed with him since I lacked nutrition knowledge at that time. Well, you know, you don't ever use your gallbladder, you never use your gallbladder from a lack of nutrition. You use your gallbladder from acidosis. I have 5 children, 6, 8, 12, 16, and 18. Holy moly, Betty! Anybody ever tell you how those things are born? 6 years old, I have 5 children, 6, 8, 12, 16, and 18. What a handful. About 10 years ago, I noticed that I was getting yeast infections almost every month, usually prior to my menstrual cycle, and the yeast infections continue until now. Wow. I tried Monistat, all that kind of over-the-counter stuff. Infection cleared for a few days. I have been dealing with it for a long time, and I want it gone. I don't blame you. I believe this is my body telling me there is something wrong, and I have to take care of it. The yeast infection was my major problem, with some fatigue and mood swings. Okay, so let's stop there. She kind of added with this fatigue and mood swings. Where are we going to go, guys? You guys are so good. Absolutely. We're going to go to this lady's adrenal glands first and foremost. Why? Sugar metabolism. We want to correct that. So we want to get those adrenal glands healthy. Then you got proper cortisol levels, proper progesterone levels, estrogen, testosterone, neurotransmitters, all of that, obviously. So you want to get the adrenal glands healthy. That's number one for this lady. And then, of course, this is going to help trip up her kidneys. So this is going to help start moving that lymph. Now, mood swings and stuff like this is the adrenal glands. Fatigue, this is the adrenal glands. So it can be the thyroid, but this is mostly the adrenal glands. I started researching my symptoms and came across many books and health practitioners that promised to help me get rid of the fungus, which they named Candida overgrowth. Heard of that one? Yeah. Matter of fact, I know some practitioners that literally blame every single thing on Candida. Every single thing. It's just a microbe. And yet they blame everything on it. It's just involved in fermentation, please. That's the point. And that should lead us to grain eating. And why not grain eating? Why not starches? And you got to go back to the adrenal glands to understand that. And if you have weak adrenal glands, in those adrenal glands is the word cortisol. This is a little steroid known to control sugar metabolism or involved in sugar metabolism. When you're having cortisol problems, you're having sugar metabolism problems, and medical doctors come over here and label it either hypo or hyperglycemia. Hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, hyper or type 2. And yes, Chris, type 2 is much easier to cure than type 1. Type 1, you're into the genetics. And here's the other problem that people like Marcy face, guys. She's been on insulin 35 years. Now, let me put Chris on testosterone for 35 years, and then let me take it away from him. You know what's going to happen? Yeah, Chris, you're going to crash and burn like you've never crashed and burned before because you just crashed your adrenals. That's what they're doing with all these type 1s with insulin. They're crashing the beta cells. And she's got that's the toughest thing about type 1. The longer you've been on insulin, the longer it can take you to work yourself out of this because your beta cells, it's an endocrine gland. And whenever you give steroids, you show anybody that was on hydrocortisone or cortisone creams or shots for 35 years, and you know what you've got? A very serious wreck. You have destroyed that person's emotions. You've destroyed that person's mental outlook. These medical doctors have destroyed people's happiness through the use of hydrocortisone and cortisone creams and the like because it slams their adrenal glands. Can't do that. That's why you guys are so important. You understand what causes the inflammatory response. Protein, acids. Absolutely. Now, let me go on here. But to get rid of Candida, you can use Paracidam or something like that, but you've got to move lymph. Remember that commercial? We talked about this before. So, Betty, there's a lot of videos we have talking about this Candida problem. So you just have to go back and find those, honey. But I'm telling you, you have to understand what you're doing to bring that in. And remember, those of you that have been on sulfa drugs that have sulfur in your eye, you can just plan on having Candida problems. But detoxification, virus, Candida, fungus, in other words, you're cleaning the body out, but you're also fixing why you're not metabolizing the sugars. And you're eliminating starch out of your diet because nothing's good about starch. It's just too much sugar. Just like protein is too many amino acids, starch is too many simple sugars. And that's why saturated fat is too many fatty acids. When you complex and saturate, it doesn't make it better. It makes it worse. Nature is more simplistic than that. We just like the complex, but that's the mind again, losing your way down the road of simplicity into a road of jargon, intellectualism, ideas, belief systems. Fine if you want to play around in the fields of dreams, but if you want to know truth and you want to be a God person that gives forth truth, then you have to get beyond the mind. If you can't, you got trouble going there. Let me see what else. I was happy to know that the name of the infection, bacteria, whatever it is, so I started the Candida Cleanse from raw something, organic, written by Linda something. Last November, and prior to the Candida Cleanse, I did a 30-day juice fast, and that was an awesome experience, but the infections continued. Well, you got to get into your lymph, sweetheart. You got to get your kidneys filtering. And it's not just enough to fast anymore. It's not enough to go on a little grape fast of 20, 30 days, 40 days. It's not enough to do those things anymore. You gotta really get some herbs there and get into the kidneys more aggressively. And now, if you were down in say Costa Rica or you were in Thailand, you might not need herbs. Those fruits are so friggin' strong. I don't know. But up in the northern countries, you just got to have help because the food is just so bad, You guys just have to use the help, But it's why you're not getting well, is you're not fixing it. You're not really getting in and fixing it. You're going there, you're moving there, you're starting to do the fasting and picking that up, but oh no, you got to go deep. You can't just do a little bit, say, I didn't get rid of it with a short. No, this is a big deal. Candida is a systemic problem. So it's a big deal. You got to clean yourself out. Fix the program consisted of eating healthy foods like vegetables, some grains, which promotes candida, honey, nuts, which is acidosis, which promotes them, legumes. That's all bad. I did the same thing, though. I fell into that same trap way, way, way back. And that was, thank God, it was after I had experienced fruitarianism. So that experience kept pulling me back to that experience and keep helping me to develop. Because remember, the mind is like these old records, these old LP photograph records and how they have all the grooves on them. That's how your mind works. Once your mind gets set in a pattern, it doesn't take long to set patterns up. You love these patterns. Remember, we talked about that the other day on these videos. It's 6 o'clock. I got to get home. The news is on at 6. 7 o'clock is Greta. 8 o'clock is, it could be X Factor. It could be American Idol. I don't know these things, of course. High raw, low fat diet. Not really. Grains are fat, nuts are fat, legumes are fat, but these are all dead foods. These are all dead foods, and I don't care what we try to do to them, they're dead foods. The only way is just what you said, sprout them, germinate them, turn them into a plant. Then the plant is alive. But then you need to wait till it gives you something. The plant is a being. Now that being is going to produce something for you, and it's going to hand it to you, and it's going to be called a fruit or a berry. And you're going to go, thank you, plant. I'll take this one and make me another, would you? Some people just eat the plant. And no fruits allowed for the first month. After the first month, you could slowly start introducing the less sugary fruits. But if you wanted better, faster results, to stay away from fruit for the next 6 months. How the hell are you going to clean candida out of your body fasting and eating foods? You're not. You haven't done anything that I see so far that did a candida cleanse. Whoever told you that's with a candida cleanse, Betty, didn't know their you-know-what from the you-know-what. That's not a candida cleanse. That's trying to keep you away from sugary foods. The problem isn't the sugar. The problem is your inability to metabolize it. Now, we all can't handle starches. That's a problem we all face. So you got to get away from it, and she put you on, or whoever put you on this, put you on grains. You don't go on grains when you have candida. That's the food they love. crazy. That was the worst part of this diet, as I've been on it for almost 3 months. Also, for the first 1.5 months, I took antifungal capsules, clear candida, and GSE extract, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Okay, where are we here? I currently have the following symptoms. Okay, let's go up here. She's had 8 mercury fillings. Did you have them removed? I started another parasite cleanse at the time that appealed. I also have 8 mercury fillings. Well, I would get rid of them because they are definitely neurotoxic. And that's a problem, especially up here in, what was it I was just saying? Oh, yeah, that's the problem. You know, that's the problem. So get these mercury fillings out, I tell you. All right, get this. After day 56 on the Candida cleanse, I would have expected the yeast infection to stop. But it didn't. Well, because no one really did you a true Candida cleanse, sweetheart. You want a true getting rid of parasites, you got to get on the program. I currently have the following symptoms. Some started after taking the antifungus. That's not good. Itching all over my body. Okay, that's Candida. That's not a die-off. That's a pissed-off Candida group. Pain on my upper back between my shoulder blades. Pain on my upper back from fungal capsules. Interesting. Wonder what was in them. Mood swings, some anxiety. That's your adrenal glands. Well, you were eating a very acid diet. Except for some vegetables, everything you were eating was acidic. How would that have got you better? I don't understand it. How it would have got you better anyway. It obviously didn't. And you know, and these people keep coming up with this bull crap stuff like antifungal diet. I mean, Jesus Christ! And you see what I'm saying? How important you guys are. You guys are so important to the stability of the mind. You know, the mind is going crazy now. You have to get beyond that to gain control of that mind because it's insane. And you have so many of practitioners out in this world that are buying into these thinking type. I don't know where these come from. Put you on just the totally opposite program you should have been on. Mood swings. Well, it always was an adrenal problem, honey. Always was. Yeast infections once a month. Now, douche with Heal All Tea and add some Parasite M in that. And I would douche for the next 2 weeks, once a night, with the Heal All Tea. Its instructions are on the box. And I'd add Parasite M into that and douche with that. Take about 15 minutes and finish off a pan of tea and douche and get up in there as far as you can. At the same time, you're going to get the kidney formulas, the adrenal formulas, the lymphatic formulas, the bowel formula, and you're going to start tearing up inside your body. You're going to start moving everybody. You're going to start turning on, hydrating, filtering, all these things you need to do to be successful. And you can take Parasite M or some form of antifungal with it, but you can't get rid of them until you clean your lymph system. It's impossible. Look at the commercial for Lamisil, where the little fungi goes, opens up the toenail, jumps in, starts playing in all the goop. What's all the goop with all the other little fungi? Sewage. Fermenting sewage. Because even in a septic tank, you've got starches fermenting. And you're going to have not only bacteria, you're going to have fungus there too. Weight gain for no reason. Uh-oh. I mean, I'll tell you one reason. You just made yourself a whole lot more acidic. And that could be water weight from being even more hydrated still. I mean, she gave you, who are very acidic, obviously, more acid food. Insane, insane. Cold and cold feet. It must be cold hands and feet. Is that what you meant? It seems like I'm always cold. Well, it sounds like what you did was dump your endocrine glands. It sounds to me what you did was dump the pituitary because you got too many other glands dumping from that. Yeah, that's a thyroid dump. You also, when what you're saying here, you had an adrenal dump. What the hell did they do to you to give you an endocrine gland dump like that? I mean, it's like your endos went whoop, right down. And you had pain on the neck or shoulder back there? Weird. See, that's what I like about us and what we do. We are totally science-minded. We are totally God-minded. We are totally on the road of truth. And I tell you, sweetheart Betty, you need to get your butt into this and clean your body out, and you'll be done with this and quit playing around with this. You should have found us a long time ago and cleaned this right out. But it wasn't meant to be. You needed to understand the diet they gave you is not the diet of man. And it just made you a whole lot worse. You know, guys, you'll always see this happening over and over. And as your cases start coming into you, and you Facebook people, I know you're seeing this already. Just tons of this coming in. And it's just that people are being sold a bill of goods from people that think they know that don't know nothing. I love that. All these people that think they know and they just don't know crap. You know, it's amazing that. And then you have all these judgmental people. You know, like the banana guy, who I hear keeps getting kicked off of websites because of ego, going on people's sites, giving them thumbs down, stuff like that. You know, that's real cool. I mean, that's immaturity. That's a lack of awareness. That's a karma problem for you guys. Not for us, because we don't take anything in, do we, guys? We don't allow that negativity to come in and have a seat, do we? Let it flow through. If you have to pick on something and chew on it a little bit, let it go on out. You know, just like a child, you get mad for a minute and then you go on. Forget it. Forget one moment to the next, to the next. That last moment's gone. Don't be following that last moment. Be awake for the new moment. Stress and always in a hurry, and because it made you hyperactive. It made you more acidic, and it made your nervous system more hyperactive. You know, we were talking about that this morning again with this homeopathist, is that, you know, the more energy and the more power a food has, the calmer you get. Because she meditates. And it's like when you eat the raw, and when you get up away from the vegetables, everything becomes calm, peaceful. The chatter of the mind quiets down. You're able to pull back and see. And so it's just so much fun. And you always want to make this fun, because raw is fun because you feel better, you see better. And there's nothing like the nirvanic experience of becoming more expanded in your awakening and experiencing some of these high levels. This is so low of a level of God. I can't even begin to tell you if you can't remember, or for those who have never had out-of-body experiences. Once you've been traveling, even in the next level, the next heaven, unless you know you're here for a reason, it's hard to want to come back. Just the next level. Let me take you to some that, you know, the only reason you just become a God man. So anywhere you are, you just keep giving off the God. It doesn't matter what world you're in, where you're at, doesn't matter, because you stand and represent the God force. So it doesn't matter anymore where you are. Mm-hmm. Interesting, huh? Bloated and can easily get constipated. Well, you can fix all these things real easy, Betsy. Just get on these herbs, get on the stomach and bowel that moves your bowels, clean yourself up, get yourself up on a fruit diet. If you have to do vegetables for a pure raw vegetable diet with green drinks for a few weeks while you get in the herbs and really hake after that and go the parasite in and then kick up the fruit, do that then. I absolutely love fruit and cannot understand why I have to stop. You don't have to stop. And I don't know why you did. Because this person thought their way was better. Their way is nothing but the wrong food, acids, proteins. Just shut down your kidneys and adrenals even more eating that way. You're right, sweetheart, and I'm with you 100%. She's leaning more towards the 80-10-10. Perfect. I am planning to do a 28-day juice fast in February, along with taking your herbs, but are not sure which to take. I just gave you a good hint of that, plus the staff here will help you easy. Oh, yeah. Thank you for taking the time, and this letter, I am screaming for help and strongly believe God makes no mistakes in helping me to find you. No, there is no mistakes. It's just sometimes you turn down roads, Betty, that are there for your education. And, you know the beauty of all this is that at any given time, at any moment, you have the opportunity to go from effect to cause, from the seeker to the knower. And it's as simple as quieting and stepping beyond that mind, beyond thought. You know, I had two people inspire me on that, and I was thinking about this the other day in meditation. You know, J. Krishnamurti, and I've told you about him before. Here's a very humble being that was supposed to be master of millions in India. And he said, me, I'm no master, but what I can do is show you how to see. He was a true master. He didn't want in your tishratil. He didn't want in between you and God, as some masters want themselves. He wanted you to totally hook directly to yourself, which is God. And the only way you can do that is get beyond the mind. And J. Krishnamurti was one of those people that taught me that and taught a lot of people that. You either get him or you don't. If you don't, then you don't know how to pull yourself back. And then the Eckmasters, of course, brought the maps out. And then Darwin, when he became the Eckmaster, took all Twitchell's work, all the maps, and brought them into the now. And that's when you started seeing, when the Eckmasters brought that principle in, that's when you started seeing all the books started coming. About 20 years into that, the books started coming. Conversations with God, The Power of the Now. All these books started coming when these people, and this is what's happening to you guys. You guys are responsible for setting up the way the future is experienced here in creation. You guys. And it's pretty cool. I mean, there's so much to this. I wish I even knew all of that. But it's just one cool thing. And so souls will have a better experience at this level. Maybe there'll be another level that's lower than this for those that need to go there. This is James, 30 years old, from the UK. Hello, James, from the UK. I have multiple lipomas. Two fairly big ones seem to be getting slightly bigger. Well, let's go back. The lipoma is a fatty tumor, so I suggest a couple things. Remember, fats are very involved in acidosis, and of course, your liver and gallbladder are involved in fat metabolism. So I'll tell you, our digestion, I would get on the program. I have had people in here with so many lipomas that it looked like a dragon's back. Looked like a dragon's back. I mean to tell you. And when they're done, they're as smooth as silk. That's because they removed what in the body? Acidosis. And at the same time, they got their liver and gallbladder healthy. At the same time, they got their adrenals healthy. So a route of cholesterol can be taken up again. And so they're just so many things that now correct and right themselves, that all the lipomas melt away, all this. You can put black salve. That's another thing. I got to make a call here about my black salve. I'm coming out with a form of black salve. I've got my baby formula almost done. We're ready to taste it and to work that taste out. But I've got it all set and all ready to go. I'm excited about it. Our problem with our baby formula is going to be making gorillas. No, it won't be that bad. But I'm going to tell you, I perceive that the children that are on these baby formulas are going to be unbelievable. I've already seen babies being raised with some of these ingredients, and it's like, wow. So I'm so excited to have some products out there that is so good for you, that it just builds and strengthens and corrects genetics. That would be cool. Hi, James of 30 from the UK. Is there any dangers of lipoma? I'm a vegan, mostly raw, for over a year now. Well, get in the detox, James. Get deeper into this. Get the kidneys filtering. Get this lymph moving, and you'll see as everything starts moving, and you start returning hydration or more of a base balance interstitially, these lipomas will melt away, my friend. And I would highly recommend that. But do about a month and a half, 2 month stint on liver gallbladder too. I've noticed my eyes have a lot of white in them. Well, that's the lymph. And that's what happens. Lipids are antacids. The problem is, you see what they're doing in your case. I don't know, be honest with you, all the reasons why they tumor up like that, as opposed to just being plaqued. But boy, do they ever. They have a lot of white in his eyes, so that's a lot of congestion, lymphatics right there. White is acute stages, have weird flaky skin every day, also under my eyes. Well, this is just acidosis, my friend. These are just acids oozing out and breaking down cells as they come out. So absolutely, you want to hydrate yourself. You're just dehydrated. You're highly acidic here. And that's why these lipomas. I have had a lot of antibiotics in my younger days, and alcohol and drug use, especially Xanax and Valium. Well, you know what the beauty of it is any moment you can stop and rebuild. I love God. I love at any moment. You're not sentenced to hell. None of you guys don't ever think you're sentenced to hell because you have a condition no one can treat. No one can cure anything on this planet. You guys are the top cure people on the planet. I'm telling you, look around. You just don't see them. I get the Dr. Young's patient. I get all these people in here, and I get to hear who these people really are. And none of them, to me, are true healers down the road that you guys understand it to be. And unless you understand this level of thinking, the lymph and acidosis and all this, you're lost. You're chasing butterflies and the pot of gold at the end of a rainbow that doesn't exist for you. We live and are the rainbow. It's too bad with all that. But the fact that you had to have a lot of antibiotics when you were young, what does that mean, guys? When someone has a lot of antibiotics when they're young, what's the first thing you know they have a problem with? The lymph system. First thing out the chute. Mumps, measles, tonsillitis, all the bacterial blamed problems, which are not bacterial created, obviously, which is dairy, food created, and we blame the bacteria trying to help us. Man, I'm sure the bacteria community is looking at us going, what the hell species did God put here? They're trying to kill us. We're trying to help them. There are some gnarly bacteria, no question. But just remember terrain, terrain, terrain. Culturing medium. Is there any herbs that could maybe clear me of these skin allergies? Absolutely. Yeah, you want to think deeper than skin allergies. You want to think deeper than skin problems, my friend. You want to talk whole body deepness, lymphatic deepness. Absolutely. As it's affecting my life. Also, is there any way of getting rid of lipomas? Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding? Also, I'd rather see a lipoma than even a regular tumor, a non-cancerous tumor. I also am a really bad sleeper and still have anxiety problems. Okay, so if he's a bad sleeper, we're going to go, since I'm running out of time, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. All right, bad sleeper, pineal gland. Get a pineal glandular an hour or two before you go to bed. Get up in the head, upper circ, brain, and nerve. Start detoxifying the head. You're systemically acidic. And see how we show this all the time, guys? How when we say you're systemically acidic, that means you're acid from head to toe, because the system you're involved in is head to toe. You have a whole system down. And that's how you can explain it to your clients. You have a whole system down. It's a system you probably don't understand. Let me explain how your sewer system works in your body. And you start explaining to your clients how a toilet, you put your waste in a toilet, flush it down the sewer pipes, lymph vessels, toilet cell, sewer pipes, lymph vessels in the body, lymph nodes, septic tanks, bacteria, macrophages, and then off to the skin or kidneys. Simple. And just explain to them how this down. And then explain the two sides of chemistry. And if you want to do a little demonstration, have a Coca-Cola and tell them to hold it in, take a sip and hold it in their mouth as long as they can. That'd be especially good if they didn't have an alkaline response by the mucosa. That would really be a way shower right there. Oh, absolutely. Now, and of course, anxiety is right where your problem is. That's your adrenals, right in there where the big problem is, kidney and adrenals. And you're 30 years old, so you know you have these problems. If you just not creating that problem, but just realize that most people have these problems and go after that. Get your kidneys filtering. What's the big deal peeing in a jar and looking at it? It'll give you a quick little look of what's going on here. I know I'm going the right way with organic vegan. Right, now move up and go on some fruit fasts. You know, do a 10-day, 20-day, 30-day grape fast. Anyway, it would be great. I watch your videos. Oh, thanks, man. Well, James, the best to you, my friend. I hope this helps you. But don't feel like you're locked in there, because you're not locked in there at all. You don't have to worry about that, my friend. Wow, I'm just so much out of time, and I just feel like I just get to talking to you. Oh, wait. God, there's so many. Here's a 22-year-old. Oh, my God. Tyra. Anyway, history of fibromyalgia, and is hypersensitive to any kind of alternative therapy, massage, acupuncture, myofascial release, etc. Anxiety increases after treatments, get heart palpitations. Ooh, crap. And pain can also increase. History of cortisol use. What were we just talking about? Isn't that interesting how we pull these cases and it all just... That's a God thing, I think. History of cortisol use. So can we trace that to anxiety? Big time. And in what way? Absolutely. The adrenal glands. The adrenal glands. They slam. She probably already born with adrenal gland weakness with the fibromyalgia. Systemic acidosis. Pain all through the muscles and everywhere like that. That's simply a whole... And they don't understand what that is? Oh, my God. I don't get that. Fibromyalgia, lupus, these are easy to understand when you understand the lymphatic system and acids. Isn't that... I mean, you guys are so good. So the medical doctor slammed her, and this is why on these videos sometimes I slam medical doctors. And I had such a history of them being mean to me. I mean, literally mean to me. Now I'm giving a little dose of their medicine back. But it's just enough that we have to stop this kind of stuff. And any of you medical doctors that are watching these videos, you know I love you. But we have to stop this sort of thinking because it's ruining people. And then as you grow, you're going to have to fix these people back. Now, history of cortisol use and anxieties, adrenals. So they slammed this person's adrenals, and now she already had adrenal weakness. So now she's so in the dumps, and this is one of the problems, is they get people locked in a corner. They can't get out. We're the only people that can get people out of these corners. That's why I say we all together learn how to easily move people out of these dark dungeons of pain and despair, because this is just what medical doctors are doing, is putting people in these dark rooms of pain and despair. That's not healing. That's not health. Wrong way. So if I seem a little passionate about it, it's because I had 43 years of them in my face and them trying to shut us up, and we're the true healers. And they're the true killers. So now we need to turn it around. Medical doctors, come over to my side. We'll all work together, and we'll start getting people well and say la vie to the past. If not, bad karma's coming. That's just not me. That's the way nature works. And you just, it's sad to be in a situation where you're getting bad karma from it and you're unaware of it. That's the problem. That's why awareness is always good to have, because then you'll know when you're getting your butt kicked because you created it, and now you know you created it. And then we wonder why all these things happen to us, and we forget that we've created everything that happens to us. That's the problem. We bitch about everything outside of ourselves when we're the problem. Or we'll put it this way, our mind. We're not the problem. Our mind becomes the problem. Our emotions become the problem because they're conditionable instruments, or bodies, if you will. They totally have to be conditioned. So you can program them just like you program a computer. But who does the programming? Your church, your family, your school, your college, your country, your village, state. All of this. Okay, so here's the thing. Also sensitive during detox with herbs and fruits. Suggestion. All right. Suggestion, you try to div some things here. In other words, go to one kidney formula, kidney number 1. Muscle test that. See if you test strong. Get a lymphatic 1 capsule. Muscle test you. If you test strong, take it. I would also do stomach and bowel. These should test pretty good on you. Maybe not the lymphatic. We'll see. Also, at least an endocrine gland formula. And if you can and should muscle test strong on the New Zealand 400 milligram adrenal glandulars, I would highly recommend you start on these. And this is a case where you need a glandular. This lady the medical profession has drove her adrenals to Hellville. And they're sitting there, and she can't hardly get out of there. So that's why we need sometimes a little help from our friends that are here to help. Sometimes we have to know why they're here. And they can help us get well. And that is the case. If you can muscle test strong on the adrenal glandular, I highly recommend you get on that. And I would do at least 2-3 times a day. Start out with 1 if you want, but move up to 2. I don't know where your blood pressure is, but this is real important that you start peeing in a jar and you start seeing your urine have a filtration to it. Because you've got to go back and correct why the fibromyalgia. And that's just systemic acidosis, which leads to systemic pain. But after a while, you can obviously understand you're going to get corrosion or you're going to get the atrophy of the muscles and everything else. And then the cancer word is around, everything else is around. And with weak adrenals, you know what else is going to be a factor in acidosis? 2 things. She's going to have calcium problems. Body's going to start ripping calcium out of her connective tissue and bones to fight this acidosis. And she has a strong probability of having cholesterol problems. And maybe not even where she can see it in her blood work, but plaquing. So you know this is a systemic case here. And this could also be a case with high sulfur in the bowels. You'd have to get the eyes and take a look at her. So you have to move yourself slowly into detox. If you have to use salads and green drinks, as you slowly, that's why they're slower, slowly move yourself toward the fruit side, because you got to get there. So you want to slowly, you can move yourself up that way. Go slow. Go raw. If you can go 100% raw, that's going to be the first milestone. 100% raw. Don't worry about Chris judging you. It's okay. 100% raw is your first milestone. Then you want to start adding fruit. Fruit for breakfast. Just fruit for breakfast. And keep going with the green drinks, stuff like that. Green drinks, high parsley, high cilantro. Obviously dandelion greens when you can get them. A little cuke and celery for taste, maybe, and some other beet bulbs if you can handle them, and go that way. Go with the foods. So go slow that way. And you Facebook people, sometimes you have to go slow with people like this. They just she might have a very serious problem, so you just have to go slow. But go you must. And you keep going and get deeper and deeper. Keep adding fruit, more fruit. And the herbs, you keep adding, you keep growing with the herbs. As you get filtration, you can take more. You go 2 kidneys, 2 lymphatics, you start getting more aggressive. But that's really all we use the herbs for. Everything else is food, food, food. So really, work yourself slowly, but back into a state of wellness, sweetheart. If you need our help, call up here and get yourself an appointment and have help on this. But you're going to have to walk yourself back to Wellville. And it's going to take a while because being that many, a history of cortisol use, you're going to have real wrecked adrenals. And the proof of that is your anxieties and all that coming out. But they were already low. They were already a problem because of the fibromyalgia. All right, everybody's going to be leaving in a minute, so I better close up here. And it's enough to say that I can't tell you how much love I have for you guys. I appreciate it. Are you watching your dreams? Are you traveling? I'm hearing all kinds of neat stories out there. I mean, you guys are just pace setters, trend makers, and God people. Pleasure to work with every one of you, and I love you all. Bye, bye, bye.